Hey folks, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Unmasked. Today we're going to talk about the 5 senses to selling your house. The 5 senses, guys: look, listen, smell, taste, and touch. Those are the 5 things we're going to talk about today. But first, let's talk about look. Look is the one that probably has the most to it. So when you're looking, let's start on the outside, looking in. From the outside, take a step back. Look at your house and try to look at it from a fresh set of eyes. You've been living here for a while, or if you own the property for a while, you may or may not have been paying attention to what your curb appeal looks like. You got out of your truck, you walked inside the house, and you did whatever you did. Now that you're selling the house, you need to look at the house as if you were buying the house for the first time. You need to say, does this look good from the street? When I take this picture, is it going to look all right? That means you may need to add new bark to the landscaping. You may need to trim up some bushes or the trees to make it look pretty from the outside. So take a look from the outside and see what are some things that I can do to spruce up the outside, because curb appeal is huge. When people walk up to your house, the very first thing they see is your curb appeal. So look for the curb appeal. The second one, you're going to want to declutter the house. When you first walk in the house, or even walking up to the front door, you want to take away a lot of stuff. Less is more. So if that means you're putting stuff in the closet into boxes and pre-packaging stuff because you know you're going to sell it and you know you're not going to need it the next month or two, package it up, put it away, declutter the house, make it look and seem like there's more space than there really is. Declutter the house, make it look like it's clean. You want to de-personalize the house. You want to take the pictures of you and your family off the walls. Now, if you got landscapes where the majority is a mountain scene or a waterfall or a forest or even a desert, whatever it is that you're into landscape wise, those things you can leave up. That's not something that's personal to you. Now, you may be religious and you want to have your personal things up on the wall, whether that be a picture of Buddha, a picture of Jesus, whatever it is that you have up on the wall, you want to have those things taken down. You don't want to have your thoughts and your personality up on the wall. You want people to walk in and have them visualize where they would put their own personality. After all, it's not you buying the house, it's you getting the money for selling the house. So depersonalize it. Take your family pictures down. This is the time when you look around the house for little marks and scuffs and dings and dents in the walls. And this is the time to fix them. They are usually pretty easy to fix. You can usually get something from Lowe's or Home Depot that you can fill in the holes, fill in the gaps, especially all those pictures you just took down that now have a dark spot behind them because that's been clean for all these years, but everything else was painted around it or whatever. Now's the time to go and clean up all those scuffs, clean them in the holes. And then the next thing is to paint. Now, if you have paints outside of the earth tones, then you want to pick earth tones, whether that's very lights, like whites, or if you want to use browns or grays, something that would fit an earthy tone. Not too dark, you don't want to go dark, you want to keep it light, but if you do earth tones, those are the least offensive to somebody's eye. And after all, you're trying to get people to look at your property. So removing the scuff marks, painting everything up to make it look nice and clean again. The next thing you want to do is clean. Do a thorough clean. Once you've painted everything and it looks great, you need to clean. And I don't mean just sweeping the floor and vacuuming it. I mean cleaning those baseboards. The top of the baseboard that, you take that white glove and come up really full of a dust bunny, it's time to clean those. The smallest details make the largest difference when it comes to cleaning your house and selling it. Those little stains on your shower door, the glass shower door that you've just lived with, it's time to scrape those off and get it nice and clean again. If you got to replace the shower curtain, replace the shower curtain so it's brand new. It doesn't have any calcium buildup or rust buildup or whatever it is that's plaguing your region. Everybody's got something. So find those small little bits and clean it up thoroughly. Every little bit that you clean up is one less thing that somebody has to see to say, that's pretty gross, I don't want that. You keep it clean and it's gonna wow them when they come in. Everybody likes a clean place. Your valuables. If you have valuables where people can see them, necklaces, you've got rings and earrings and necklaces and bracelets and watches and stuff galore, and you've got it in a cabinet of some sort where it's very easily to be seen, it's time to put those things away. You are going to be opening your house to people that you don't know. And even the other people bringing them into your house may not know them very well. So it's important that you put things that are valuable away. Potentially you could go get a safe deposit box and that would make you feel comfortable. The next one is staging. When it comes to the looks of your house, this is something that can raise the value of your house considerably. Staging the house is proven to raise the property quite often the value somewhere between 1.5% to 2.5%. People that stage homes will usually charge about 1%, 0.5% to 1% to stage the home. And it depends on how much of the house you're going to stage. If you're going to stage a lot of the house, then it's going to cost you more. But some places that you can stage would be, say, the master bedroom and the dining room. Those would be appropriate places to have staged so that when people walk in, they can see kind of an idea of what it would look like. And people that stage properties usually do a fantastic job of using less to make it look like it's bigger. They also use very nice clean things. A lot of times people, when they're buying a house, they'll see something that is staged that they really like. They use the most modern designs, the things that people are most interested in the moment. And quite often people that stage the house will sell something to the person who's buying the house. So when somebody's walking in and you want them to be looking around and enjoying what they see, staging the house is one of the best ways to do that. Another thing that you probably want inside your house are living things or things that appear to be living. For instance, plants. This is when you want to put the fake plants, the fake flowers, whatever, even in your front yard. If you don't have any plants growing, one of the most common things that I've seen fix and flippers do is they will take fake flowers and they'll stab them in the ground. Everybody knows they're fake, but it gives them an idea of what it could look like. Because honestly, when somebody's coming to buy your house, they're not very creative. Not very often. So you kind of have to help them. If you want to sell this house, you kind of have to help them see what they don't see by themselves. That's look. Now, what about listen? Listening comes to listening to your agent. It's time that you get an agent. Now, I've got several videos that talk about agents. I've got a video that I'll post up here on realtor versus real estate agent, what the difference is. I've got another video that I talk about when it's time to buy a house, how to find a great real estate agent or realtor, and I can put that up there as well. So you want to find somebody who's going to be your advocate, somebody who's going to be working on your behalf, doing what is best for you when it comes to selling this house. Once you find somebody and you have them under contract, you're done. They're your person. You've got several months with them before you're going to let them go. They're going to get a portion of what you're going to sell the house for. Now it's up to you to negotiate to find the right person, find a great realtor and negotiate the contract. I quite often, especially in a seller's market, will not pay more than 4% as a realtor's fees between the buyer and the seller. Now, if it's the buyer's market, usually I won't go less than 5%, but I won't go above 5%. Usually it's right around 5%. If I can get them at 4% in a buyer's market, great. But if I know that I'm waiting around for a buyer to come around, it's more important that I have a seller who's going to go gung-ho and push my property, so I'm going to pay them a little bit more than I would if the market is going nuts and I get to choose from a dozen of buyers who I'm going to sell this to. Because in that case, the seller doesn't have such a hard job to do. In the case where it's a buyer's market where they get to determine what the terms are, it's really important that you have a seller agent that knows what they're doing, that they can speak on your behalf as your advocate and be able to get you the top dollar. So find the right agent, watch my other videos, and I'll be able to help you out with that. Smell. So we've talked about look, listen, and smell. When it's time to sell a house, the last thing you want is somebody to walk in and be like, oh my goodness, they are cat ladies, or they are dog people, or their kid threw up yesterday. You want to have a smell that when you walk into the house, it feels inviting. Of all the smells that people suggest that you have when it comes time to sell a house, the number one is citrus. Whether it be lemon, orange, something citrusy, it smells clean. It smells inviting. It smells fresh and new. So citrus is always a good smell to go with. The next smell is vanilla, almond, or mint. Something that has like somebody's cooking. So when you have a vanilla smell, it could almost be like cookies. I love the smell of vanilla. When I walk into a house and I smell vanilla, it feels like home. It feels inviting. I love that smell. And there are a lot of people that feel that same way. So picking something that is an almond or a mint or a vanilla also could be a home warming type smell when you walk into the house. Herbs or green tea. If you have an herbal type smell like rosemary or thyme or some of these other herbs that you could have inside the house, or even green tea, those are smells that some people attribute to home. So it's very inviting to come in and smell that smell. The last smell would be pine or cedar, and that depends a lot on the season and also on where your house is located. If you're in the middle of the desert, pine and cedar may not be the best choice. However, if you're right around Christmas time and you're close to the foothills and there's snow on the mountains, the pine and cedar probably is a really good smell to have in the house. So the question now is, how do you put that smell into your house? I know several real estate agents that what they do whenever they know they're going to have an open house, they will bake a fresh batch of cookies. Now you got to make sure you don't burn them, but they'll burn cookies or cinnamon rolls. And if you cook those things, it puts the smell throughout the house. It feels very inviting and it feels like home. Now, if you're not going to bake every time somebody comes over to your house, one of the ways that you can get the smell throughout your house is to have like a spritz on like a tissue, like a dryer sheet. One of the things that I do is I get a dryer sheet and I put it in where my filter is for my heater or my air conditioner. So when the air gets sucked in, it goes right past that dryer sheet and spreads it throughout the house. Now, if you're gonna do it with a dryer sheet, make sure it's a dryer sheet that doesn't already have its own smell. But you could also use like a tissue paper, right? Tissue or some other paper that you could spray. Even a small section of a piece of paper, like college rule type paper, you could spray with like a vanilla spray or a lemony spray. And when the air conditioner turns on or the heating system turns on, it will blow that smell throughout the house. And that's really good. So we've talked about look, we've talked about listen, we've talked about smell. What about touch? Touch. What are you going to touch? Well, everybody who comes into your house is going to be opening up a door. They may open up cupboards. They may open up a window or close a window. You want to make sure that anything that is loose, anything that you just like, okay, someday I'll get to it. This is the time that you fix the somedays. You fix the loose handles, the loose hinges, anything that creaks when it opens and closes. These are things that you're going to be tilely touching when you go in the house. You want to make sure that everything is ready to go in that regard. And taste. The last one is taste. What are you going to be tasting when you're selling your house? The only thing that I have for taste is, like I'd said with the smells, is if you're going to have an open house, it's really good to have something that will be good for the adults and for the kiddos if they happen to show up. I personally like fresh baked cookies. And if you go and get one of those tubs from Costco and you just scoop it out, you don't have to worry about getting the right recipe. You just bake it, you watch it closely, and it will make the house smell nice if you don't already have it smelling nice. And you can have nice fresh baked cookies. You can have water. A lot of people do the water with a cucumber or some other infused fruit or something similar, so that when people are walking throughout the house, it feels like it's a very nice place. Because very nice places bring in very nice prices. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or if you have a suggestion for something that you would look, listen, smell, touch, or taste when it comes to selling your house, please put it down in the comments down below. If you have any questions of a video or a suggestion that you'd like me to talk on, go to my website at www.watchbobonyoutube.com and submit a comment to me, and I'll be glad to take a look at that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.